Gotta go down to go back up.
Have a little bit of free time on our hands today, so after getting out into the island the other day, we're going to focus a little bit more in town. It's actually one of the nicer days. We just had a hurricane pass over us yesterday. Luckily, kind of like came up, dodged Skye, and then went back down. So this is actually the last nice day we might have for a while. So just wanted to get out to get some fresh air, and because it's such a cute town, wanted to see as much of it as we can. So right now we're just wandering the harbor.
Aimlessly wandering.
Aimlessly wandering.
No maps, no plans. Yeah.
See what there is. And apparently we've been led to a providential.
So back down to go back up.
Welcome to MJ Sailing. We're Matt and Jessica, a couple that left Michigan for the nomadic lifestyle 7 years ago. Recently, we refitted an aluminum boat to sail to the Arctic and explore some of the more remote areas of the planet. Thanks for joining the adventure. It feels so nice to enjoy a day that the sun is out and the wind isn't howling, and we really don't know how many more we'll have this season. So for the times that we're on the boat and we're nice and comfortable, and yes, cry for us all you want, it is kind of hard to get yourself going. We've been noticing in the warm weather, you just get up and go. In this colder weather, kind of takes a little more of a push to get out and do something. So on these nice days, while we have them, we really got to get out while we can.
Yeah, if only Georgie still felt there nice days.
Yeah. She's gone into hibernation mode.
Yeah, she doesn't want to leave the boat. She just curls up and sits by the heater.
Yep, sleeps all day and all night. We found the tower.
So this was built in 1829. Apparently it was to signal to sailing ships that were passing through that they could get medical work done here. Seems odd. I guess it's a billboard of some sort.
That's interesting.
A modern day billboard, I guess. Or olden time billboard, actually. So yeah, it was just to let people know that you could get medical work done here, and there's a dispensary for like a pharmacist type of thing.
So, Apothecary Tower, guess that makes sense.
Kind of strange.
Caught some nice views of elements outside the windows here, so let's take a walk up the stairs and see what kind of views are offered from the top.
Yeah, this is great. Look at this.
Now this is probably some of the best views in town.
Oh, you can see the old man's store.
Oh, you can, like way.
Yeah, a little pointy thing over there.
Cool.
I forgot they're not seeing through the same perspective I am.
Holy crap. These birds are taking a ride. Oh, that is so cool.
Look at that, not a single movement of the wings. Just riding.
That is pretty awesome. Now over here is another harbor that all of our maps show is drying out, like not even having water. It does. But I kept hoping that we could use it as like a storm hole instead of having to move in 2 days. It's such a bummer. I don't want to leave this town.
Yeah, there's actually some really neat anchorages over on that side as well. Unfortunately, we have just one after another depressions coming through, and that is completely exposed to them on that side. So it's, I think, more of a summer anchorage. So we're going to miss that, but that's all right. We'll pass it. At least we can see it up close.
Behind me here is the harbor I wish we could anchor in, just because it seems pretty protected from the areas that are exposed where we are right now. And it still has great views. You can dinghy into the town, assuming that the winds aren't blowing at like 35 or 40, because then you wouldn't even want to get out of the boat, I would think. But behind us here, we drove by it the other day and it completely dries out. Like these boats right here will just be in like a kelpy mess when the tide is low. So I think the 5.5 meters when we got here was the tidal difference, so like 17 feet or so.
And we can actually, in theory, dry out our boat. The keel's flat, so we could sit down there.
In theory.
In theory. Problem is we have strong winds coming, so we can sit flat, but I think when the winds come, bloop, might fall over. So we're not going to try it our first time during something like this.
No. So bummer, we won't be able to stay here, but who knows, the next anchorage could be even more beautiful, and then we're kicking ourselves we didn't get there sooner. So it's always a gamble, always a trade-off, but it's never really that bad, so can't complain.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken.
Find something.
Should I get this for you? Aww.
Truth.
Nice. Oh, nice.
So free, oh my sweet baby.
This is such a cute little town. I love walking the streets here. Everything's laid out so like quaintly, and they've got nice window displays and nice like colored, different painted buildings. It's a fun little place just to walk around for a few hours.
Clear, and now that you're here, I see colors in every spectrum. Guess I finally learned my lesson. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. And I think to myself, and I'm thinking out loud, we won't need nothing else for the rest of our time.
Running right now. There's a storm coming. We basically, it's low pressure systems just keep rapidly coming through. But this is our one chance for at least a week to move. So we're taking advantage of it right now. We're going now around Skye on the east side, the east coast. We're on the north kind of, but around the east coast, which is going to put us under the Skye Bridge. It's a narrow section that goes through between the island of Skye and the mainland. High current. They get, I think, maxed out at spring tide at like 8 or 9 knots of current. So it's something we do have to actually time properly. It's working out so far, but we'll see. Right now, it's about 3 miles away from the Skye Bridge, and then that's going to bring us through these narrows and then to the Kyle Ray. And this is where there's actually a lot of turbulence, a lot of overfalls, if you don't time it right. So that's going to be a big thing, is making sure that we get there right around 2 o'clock. And right now it's about noon, so we have about 2 hours to make that stretch. Hopefully, if the pilot book's right, we should have it set there. But we'll see in the next couple of hours. And we did pick out a good anchorage that should hold us well for when the storm comes through. And we'll ride it out for the next 5 days, something like that. And we're spotting subs all over. It's a military vessel, so it's not on AS at all. Yeah, it was a little surprising seeing this suddenly come up surface. How cool.
So far, everything looks like it's lining up for our passage under the Skye Bridge. Should be here right around slack tide, and luckily all the winds are being blocked right now because it's supposed to be really nasty when you come through here with south winds, which is what we're getting. Everything looking good to you?
Walking on sunshine, yeah, yeah.
Sound like you've been huffing cleaners.
Huh?
I said you sound like you've been huffing cleaners.
Huffing paint. Walking on sunshine.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Oh, and don't feel good.
I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm thinking that we timed this right. Because this is not scary at all. Even though much precaution should be taken in this area, we've heard from many people. So, always gonna be cautious.
That I'll be fine. You're seeing you around. Stayed away from falling down. But now I hit the ground. You ask me how I've been. Now you see that I'm with him. I bet you wish you knew if I'm forgetting about you.
One thing that we've noticed traveling through the Highlands so far, there'll be different areas where there's ruins, but there's actually no information on them. There's just so many ruins around here of buildings that were, have just been here for ages that are now run down, and nobody knows what they are, or they're just not important enough for people to write about them, but we'll get maps and it'll just say ruins, and that's the extent of the information.
All these people in this crowd think they're all missing out. I guess it used to be me, but now I just wanna leave. I just wanna leave.
Now is the point where we're coming up on all of the tidal streams and what was supposed to be the roughest part of this trip. And you can see that there's just like little bitty disturbances in the water here. This is where our charts show that there's eddies and overfalls. And this is the area that you really don't want the south winds, which we're heading into at about 4 knots. But everything looks a-okay so far. Beautiful sights around us. And I think our anchorage is only 6 miles from here now. So just got to get through this little rough part. And then we can drop anchor and wait out the next 5 days of storms.
I was lost in the woods, under dust, and the fairies found me. And they led the way, they cleared the way to my heart.
Anchor is down. Managed to find a spot among some of the moorings here.
This actually looks like it's going to be the perfect spot for us.
Yes, very protected.
I don't know if I should say that until couple of days from now and tell you if it's actually perfect or not. But it looks like, yeah, it should be protected from the south, which is right there. And that's where most of our wind is going to be coming from, south, and then go to southwest.
And then west, yep.
So we should be all set. We anchored in 20 feet of water. We're at high tide right now, which is going to give us about 1.5 meters at this time. And I have 120 feet out currently. I'm going to put probably another 15 additional, which should be more than enough. And then we do have a lot extra that we can put out if we need to.
Gust just came out of nowhere.
You can see the wall of water back there.
Yeah. Boat's getting blown all different directions.
And there's sunshine.
True to what the weather reports were forecasting, the storms did begin to settle upon us, one after another, not giving us any hope of leaving soon. The winds would suddenly gust up out of nowhere and swing elements from one direction to another, and small whitecaps would build on the harbor before making their way to us. It was the perfect weather to just stay cozy inside. Even when we didn't have a full-on storm blowing over us, there was never a shortage of clouds hanging desperately low in the sky, or another wall of rain just on the horizon. We seemed to be the only liveaboards in the anchorage, and even though there was a well-sought-after pub ashore, we spent our time camped aboard the boat with no real reason to get off. Occasionally, the rain would downgrade to a mist, and just for a moment the sun would break away from the clouds, and the towering hills surrounding us would be set ablaze in the golden hues of fall. It was not quite the right weather to sit out in the cockpit and enjoy a sundowner, for your toes would lose feeling the instant you stepped outside. And just as soon as you could get out to try and enjoy it anyhow, the moment would be almost gone.